Hello. Let's see. Just change this. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you can hear me. Just gonna check sound real quick. Gonna check. There you go. Okay. Welcome. Alright. I just turn this off. It's better to adjust the camera like that. I'm pretty sure I messed something up here. What did I do? It just took forever to adjust. Yeah, that's what that was. Better? Yeah. Like that. Okay. Alright. Well, I started this yesterday. As you saw, I didn't have the chance to finish it off. So, we're gonna do that today. Hopefully. I noticed that there's something off with the eye here. Probably me being tired or something. Like this gets like to up to here type of thing, and the eye should like be actually like larger. I think, yeah, that's correct. And you have the, well, I'm messing that up too, but that looks better already. It's not perfect. There's not such a thing as perfect. May I tell you that? But something I was doing right before I started the stream, just to not do anything without registering it on camera. And the only thing I was doing was like, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but you can measure whatever you want to draw with the pen that you're using, or pencil, or whatever. You basically you hey basically you point it towards what you're trying to measure. So let's say you want to measure uh, like the distance between the eyes, so you hold it up. So the measurement would be the point between, let's see if I can show you. The measurement for me would be, this would represent this side of the face, and this will represent the other side of the face. I don't know if you can see what I'm saying, or if you're interested in that such a thing, but you do that, right? So you're measuring it with your eye in reference to the image, and then you translate that to your drawing. So if you measure based on one specific thing, you can start to do like relationships between objects, or parts of that same face. Like, for instance, half of the eye is like half. Hi, how's it going? The eye is kind of half the measurement of the distance between the bridge of the nose and the edge of the face. So if you divide that by 2, so if I divide this into 2, imaginary line here, this is the edge of the face, this is the bridge of the nose, so the eye would start right around the middle of that. So that's what I was trying to adjust. I hope that helps you in any way. How's it going, Artusin? All good? Okay. Did it? Wonder if I got this one right because he's squinting. So, hola, Matias. He or she? I'm guessing it's a he. Okay. So, already have that going. Actually, let's see if I can project some light onto this. I messed it up because might not be enough. Alright. Oh, I think that's better. You can see better what I'm actually doing. I've been thinking a lot about what to do next. Like I end up like I have this thing of always drifting into different subjects, and I think that's to my detriment because if I were to just stick to one, it's better. It's way better for portfolio and a bunch of other things, continuity, and so on and so forth. But I guess I have multiple interests. Like this sketch, I'm always trying to or I've been trying to make a cohesive thing, but I guess the cohesive thing is my approach. In opposition to the subject matter. I don't know. I'm leaning towards doing like freestyle because I enjoy that very much, and I like the creativity aspect to it, and like why not? Also maybe that might be a little bit better for my content. I don't know, you guys. What do you think? I'm opening the floor for your comments. This is full brightness. This shouldn't be. Just making shadow. This is terrible. Exactly what I wanted to avoid. Let's see. Give me a second. I thought that fell down. Yeah. If you had any doubts that this is real time, it should tell you what you need to know. This is real time. We're live, you guys. We're live. There you go. There you go. I don't know. It seems like the light is dimmed down. Did I change something? What's going on? Huh. Maybe it's adjusting to this. I don't get it. No. Just leave it at white. Kinda. There's something off here. I wonder what it is. It's too much. Is that better? Can you see better? I hope you can. Just well, I was trying to change the light so I don't project a shadow. Hey Sandeep, how are you? All good, all things considered, I think. How's Canada? Where are you located? I don't think I don't remember you mentioning it. Are you in Victoria? So you're really close to Vancouver. Well, really close. That's a little bit of a stretch, right? Victoria is that's the island, right? If I recall correctly. Uh, Last time I was there was a long time ago, so forgive me if I get it wrong. Oh, it's really nice. I've I went briefly to Victoria just to visit, like the we wanted to take my family, like my family wanted to go to the garden. There's a giant garden there, if I recall correctly. That they it's for tourists and you can take pictures there and so on. It's kind of cool. Pretty sure if I got the island right, you probably been there because it's like a main attraction in that place. But you did Beacon Hill Park, is it? I don't remember the name though. That much I don't remember. Um, you mentioned you did like an online BFS course, but like you actually went to to BFS. Like, did you do a year or did you do like a short course? I don't know how the courses work now. I know they changed some stuff. Um, in my case, I'm 3D 101. Oh, oh, okay. That that's cool. I really, one of the things they mentioned to me was to try and like do a college, like basically not college, a university course or university uh, graduate. Like, you get what I mean, like the 4 years, 5 years, depending on what career you choose. I was like, yeah, like I don't have infinite amount of money to keep studying full time. Like, I have to produce in order to do that. I don't mind studying at all, and I don't mind working at all either. But well, the full BFS course is like, I actually ask beforehand, like, is it possible for somebody to work, and they tell you right off the bat, there's no way. I was like, oh, that's a bummer. And then I went to the school, and you can't. There's no chance. Like, it's intense. Uh, it's really intense. So you're fully committed to to the course, and yeah, I had to go through it. So yeah, I guess depends on the situation for each person. Mm. Maybe, but that's like, I used to freelance before I went to VFS. I was like, yeah, there's no chance. Like, I you don't have the mental capacity after a day of school to work on something else, because you're committing all day to create a creative work anyways. So freelancing, I was like, I'm just gonna half-ass one thing. And yeah, the course is it's some money, so I don't wanna mess with that. So I I did the best I could. Victoria, I enjoyed that trip. We went there for like a day or something. Like, it's a full day if you want to go there. It's really nice. I also, now like years after, uh, I always mention, I don't know if you how much how many series or movies do you watch, but like I watch movies and TV like series a lot when I have free time, right? So I started watching like old shows, and there's a bunch of shows that have a lot of Vancouver that I was like, oh, that's I know that place, and like mentioning that to my wife, like you start seeing uh, areas of the city in different shows. Like I started watching. I already binge watched it. I watched it when it originally came out. Fringe, Fringe is it? Yeah, Fringe. Fringe is really cool. It's like kind of similar to the X Files, but it's like way more out there, I think. And that's kind of the show that made the career for like a career for J.J. Abrams. So I believe he started doing that show. Maybe he did some other stuff before, but that's what I remember that made him like he after that he was able to do like feature film gigs because of the success of that show. I think he went for a bunch of seasons, so he got uh, syndicated and everything. Um, it's a really good show, and I didn't know at the time when it came out originally, but I started binge watching with my wife because yeah, like during the pandemic, for example, you're at home almost all the time, so we started watching that, and there's a lot of Vancouver areas on that. I also saw like after we started watching, well, way after we started watching Monk and Psych, and well, Monk I believe has a lot of San Francisco. Yeah, I don't like. I don't watch it on the TV. By the way, like it's not. Uh, so technically, I watch it on the TV, but online. I mean, it's not like cable like it used to be. Uh, but yeah, well, that's a bummer. But there's some really good games too that I enjoyed. I know I'm like I'm so behind on all that stuff. Uh, when I was still studying, that's when The Last of Us came, and it was awesome because we got to see some behind the scenes stuff while we were studying Red Dead. Oh, Red Dead Redemption, it's a freaking masterpiece. Like my cousin, I don't believe he watches my streams, but he was he like he never wanted like he just wanted to play like I if you ask some people, they're gonna say that I was really privileged. That's a half truth. I wouldn't say it was. All good. How are you, Stephanie? Uh, like I believe I was lucky to have a bunch of opportunities. At the same time, there's some like the reality of my life is not what some people think. Um, but my point is, my cousin had like all the toys, all the time, like cutting edge technology for everything, like every console, every game, that sort of thing, right? So when Red Dead came to be, the first one, I was like, oh my god, that game is so freaking awesome. And my cousin had like the original, which wasn't cheap at all, where we're from, or I think it was original. Maybe I'm wrong. That part, maybe I'm wrong. So I might be mistaken on that. So I would ask him like, hey, can I play like a little bit just to see how? Because the thing was, I I, I was always I was always I am older than him. So whenever he got stuck in some games, I would help him like get through it. So he would ask me like, "Could you help me pass this part?" It's like, "Yeah, sure." And I would go through it and pass the area that he was stuck. And then you see like when that came out, he was a little bit bigger. So he was like getting closer to me in certain things, like in age. Of course, he's never gonna be the same age as me, but we were like kind of teenagers doing the same time, and he wouldn't like. Can I play for it? No, no, no. That's just for me. I was like, okay, cool. So yeah, I never played it. 90% similar? You mean the drawing? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'm 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 actually that's like my magic ability actually. My wife always tells me that I should do it more often, and that's what I was going to pursue originally when I went to VFS. And looking back, probably like it would have been way easier for me to get a job as a modeler than because I went into animation. So it was like, yeah, you get some gigs, but it's not the same. Modeling, everyone needs a 3D model in a studio in a pipeline, but it's not like that with other things. Um, but yeah, like modeling for me is super easy. Like that's how I started. Like I started doing. I used to do dinosaurs when I was little in plastiline, like all the time. Then when I got better, I started doing like family members. Once I did like a Venom, like this tall in plastiline. I wish I had pictures of that. And I didn't know about Super Sculpey at the time. If I did, my story would be different. 3D modeler are also burnt out easily. I I don't know. I have no like professional experience on that. Like I guess you could say I do. Like I do, but it's what I mean is it to your point. It's a really specific department within a studio. So I haven't held a position like that, and I don't know. I've modeled like for some advertising clients. I've modeled some stuff, and like for architecture, I also made models for that and rendering and so on and so forth. Um, I guess it depends. It depends on a bunch of things like that, and how much you pace yourself. But in reality, I couldn't tell you how it is in that department because what I did was more related to compositing and paint. Yeah. I think it depends. Like the idea of becoming a modeler, if you're a good modeler, it means that you can follow uh, uh, a concept like perfectly. That's the ideal. So if you do that, man, like you did your job correctly. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on how you see it. I think you can have creativity in any department. The creativity comes in some ways in the way you approach the the challenge you have before you. And yeah, what I think I should have done way more uh, was, as I said, like what I'm best at, and maybe that's on me. Like if I were to do like a modeling reel, that would be different. Hmm. I mean, it depends. Everyone is different. Like I guess I'll get a little bit more into why I chose that path. So because I didn't know uh, if what come on, English. I just scrambling to say what I'm trying to convey. Um, because there was a lot of uncertainty around if you can find a position in a studio and also make it so that it's a long-term position. I was like, okay, I think I need to maximize as much as I can what I'm going to learn on this experience because I don't know how resourceful I'm going to need to be after this uh, to tackle different projects. So that was like the main reason why I decided to go the route I chose, was because I had to, for in order to make the project that you can see it on my YouTube channel, I needed to work the skills. Like I needed to model the character, I needed to rig it, I needed to texture it, I needed to light the scenes, I needed to set up the renders, I needed to composite, and like, so my approach was to learn as much as I could from those different aspects of the production pipeline. There's a lot of people that don't go that route, and just like, if you're usually, if you're gonna study animation, your main focus is gonna be animation. The render, like, you can do a freaking awesome animation as a play blast, and like 30 seconds you're done. A play blast, you can get it out of the 3D software uh, really easy. But if you want to do something more elaborate, then you have to set up the renders. You gotta set up the scene if you want changing lighting, or I don't know, whatever you want to do with the project, you have to consider that, and how much of how much rendering do you want to be doing. So you have to think of all those things. So that's basically what I the reason I end up choosing what I chose. So yeah, in that aspect, I don't regret the fact that I learned all that I could, and I think I did the best project I could with the time I had. Um, but there's something to be said about just focusing on the original plan and just going all in. Like, I could have just go all in on modeling, and that's my that used to be that is my bread and butter, really. Uh, yeah, you mentioned that you had some luck on Upwork. Upwork has some gigs now every now and then. I haven't checked on 3D. Maybe I should. Maybe I should check on 3D stuff, but I don't have a portfolio about that. Like, my main thing has been, after that, illustration and concept art. That's what I would really enjoy. Actually, now well, I don't know what they're doing with the AI. I really don't know if a lot of the studios are implementing it, but it started to turn into concept artists making their own assets, which is, it would be cool, because if I think of a character, I could mock it up on ZBrush or something, and showcase it that way. And you already, like, if you do the concept in ZBrush, then the modeler just needs to retopple sometimes, or you can help the modeling team figure out how they can fix some of the stuff, or how can the character work in order to fit the production uh, needs. Like, oh, it cannot be like, it cannot have this flap, because then we have to animate that, and we have a week turnaround per episode rather than, I don't know, 3 months or a year or 2 years to turn this around. So you have to account for all that from inception to the end of the thing. Like, you can, the paper takes up everything. Like, you could draw whatever you want, but then turning that into a working model, or a scene that could actually work, it's a completely different thing. So yeah, kind of lost myself on that point. I don't know what point I was making, but um, yeah. Holy man, if I had all the time in the world, which I don't, maybe I could do more of that stuff. Like, right now, I'm more interested in actually sculpting, like, this sort of thing, rather than 3D modeling. And unless, like, if I get a really cool position in a studio, it'd be awesome. But that, I know what that means too. Like, you have to bring your A game to the whole thing. So it's not easy. The studio scene, really. It's really basic, I would say. There's some studios that have done some interesting stuff, but the largest industry is in advertising, and that's the like when I graduated, then I started working in an advertising agency, and in there I did a lot of like motion graphics, animations, web banners, so multimedia type stuff. I also had the chance to do 3D animation, 3D modeling. Um, yeah, like I remember doing like some 3D illustrations for a client. Uh, but yeah, nothing. At least, like, there's still some people there, like the leading type studio, but there was always, I don't know how it is right now, but it used to be like really empirical. Like, you learn on your own as much as you can, and then you start getting better at it, and if you're lucky enough to get gigs around that, they give you an opportunity, then you do the project, get better at it, you like turn it around, like good, and then maybe that turns into more gigs around that. Uh, but it wasn't. Maybe it has changed now, but it was a small industry, like fairly small, and more on the like architecture, previous that like 3D rendering, that sort of thing. That's more common there, because that's more the type of work that there's a lot of. But the film industry is really small. The um, yeah, like the film industry is gained some momentum, but it's still uh, fairly small. Uh, so yeah, that's why, if you're interested in that field, and that's what you would like to pursue, it's better if you go elsewhere, like Canada, like the U.S., uh, where there's actually more industry. I would say like here in Argentina, there's more industry, uh, but I don't know basically anyone uh, from that field here. When I got here, I started like reaching out and stuff, but a lot of non-responses. And so yeah, I just started looking for online work, freelance work, and that's what I was able to pursue further, like advertising. That's what I did, uh, ever since I graduated. So yeah, I don't know. I think it, one of the most important things you can do is like uh, kind of trust the fact that if you're creative, you can do, like, you can work within different fields and make a living. Uh, the thing with that is that, well, like in my case, I guess for someone looking from the outside, it could look like I'm more of a generalist. But the reality is that I'm an illustrator. I'm a CG artist, um, that have been like in a bunch of different projects, and yeah, it all depends. There's some people that right from school they were able to network with somebody that helped them find a gig, and yeah, the rest is history basically. But that's not everyone. So it's a mixture of things. Sometimes it's networking, sometimes it's pure luck that they were looking for people and you were at the right place at the right time. Uh, but yeah, there in Vancouver, there's a lot of industry there. Like, I don't know, I was there some years ago, so maybe I know that some studios moved to Montreal, I think, Quebec, type of thing. But if you're there, you can probably apply. There's some smaller studios where you can find work, uh, if you want to pursue that type of thing. Uh, Smaller projects, uh, smaller crew, small pipeline, and yeah, it all depends on what you want to be doing. But yeah, well, I hope whatever I'm saying helps you. I don't know. I don't know what age you are. I don't know how much experience you have. But hopefully whatever I'm saying it's helpful. For what I know, it's different for each artist because there's some people that are more technical. Uh, yeah, I could. I mentioned that I have like you can reach out to me on the email that I have on my YouTube channel, Segrons at segronscontact@gmail.com. You can reach out to me that way, or I set up a Discord, and so yeah, I don't mind giving you feedback if you're interested. Like I'm just giving you information that was helpful for me when I was starting out. Okay. Yeah. Should I keep going? You know what? Let's see how far I can push this. Maybe I'll do like 30 minutes more or something. And something that, well, a lot of people mention, and it's really true. Uh, it's really important. Uh, like soft skills are really important in that field. And yeah, I don't think I'm the best at that. uh, so I'm really introverted. I've been trying to get better at that. That's part of why I'm doing this sort of thing. But like reaching out to people, talking to them, kind of, I don't know, just uh, you have to have kind of a team mentality. You drew flowers upside down, but you can just turn them around. Like you mean the reference was upside down? Maybe it was upside down, or the sketchbook was upside down. I don't know. That has happened to me. It's so frustrating. Or you know when Like you think you're drawing on the next page, but you really skip one. Oh, I don't like that. That's so frustrating. Oh yeah, that has happened to me too. That's why you see me like check just to know. Like here, I know that this there's a drawing behind this. Every now and then I mess that up. So yeah, the social aspect of the whole career thing. That's, I guess if I were better at that, I would probably have more gigs on that. Uh, so yeah, but I let me be clear about this. I think you also have to be true to yourself. Like I'm naturally the way I am. I haven't changed who I am for anything. And I think you also have to be true to yourself. So if you think that's something you want to pursue and you want to try to do, that's awesome. But yeah, it's studio work is a team effort. It really is. So whatever you do, it like you have to hand that in order for another part of the pipeline to work on it. So you have to collaborate a lot, and yeah, it's something that it's a part of that world, and you have to take that into account. uh, for sure. There's also a lot of information online about what I'm saying. So as you're mentioning, I do prefer freelancing. That's what I prefer, or being an independent contractor. But there's some nice things about working full time as an artist somewhere like regular 9 to 5. It's nice to have. Okay, I'll check it out after I finish the stream, uh, for sure. A second. Yeah, no worries. Well, that's yeah. Okay. I want to keep adding contrast to this. Something to consider. I had a teacher that was always mentioning that I should, well, he didn't say I should, he said like you tend to uh, not add enough contrast to things, so it's something that I keep at the back of my mind. Like if I think that something kind of looks good, like maybe it needs a lot of contrast still. Uh, people, people. Yeah, what I do that works. That probably works. What I do is I start squinting against the drawing, and then I look at the picture, and if I still see it, like I know that this needs more contrast for sure. It's just a matter of, do I want to push it that far, or do I just want to keep it nice and simple? Nice and simple. Happy trees. Happy trees. There's easier ways to get contrast. Like I like working also with ink, like this type of thing, regular black ink. Um, it's a really fast way to get contrast, but the thing is, it's easy to lose control of, like you can go from light to fully saturated like that, and to have that sort of subtlety, um this is better to get that subtlety. It just takes longer, which, like, I'm not doing this on somebody else's timeline, so it just depends on me. Going back to the whole pipeline thing, uh, usually if you work with a team, They're gonna want you, like the client is always gonna want you to work faster, deliver faster. It's like this never ending cycle. And yeah, you want to deliver the best you can within the time frame that is required, but that also comes with the fact that sometimes you cannot spend a lot of time on something just by the nature of the thing that you're working on. uh, yeah, you have to kind of resolve both, like make them friends to each other. Also, I'm trying to follow the direction of the hair with varying degrees of success, because I'm also really impatient. If this was like if I wanted to do like fully technique, I would have spent hours trying to get more accurately how each of the spots work with each other. I also want to create that separation that you can see, like the face is well lit and is casting a shadow on the side of the neck, so you want to get that separation. And that is something that if you're doing an illustration, it's always gonna make it better if you can separate planes, like foreground, mirror ground, and background, depending on what it is that you're looking at. I don't know. I have a video about this sort of thing, like layering, but well, it's on a different type thing. But you want to kind of you want to have that in whatever you're doing. Doesn't matter if it's a video, if it's 3D, if it's 2D, if it's a sculpture. You want to make it pop. Um, like even as a photographer, like once you take the picture, there's a whole thing about uh, post post editing the image. There's some people that are more like, oh, I don't want to modify the original image, and there's a lot of people that want to create the best image they can regardless, so they tweak the values, they balance the image the best way they can, and yeah, they basically enhance the work that they already did. And I don't know how much the people that are watching know about this sort of thing, but uh, for film, they taught us a lot about this. You basically have different depth of like different quantities of information on an image. You can get like 16-bit, 8-bit, that type of thing, and depending on how much information you have, 32-bit, 64, like depending on how much information you have, you can play around with different values of the image, because that raw image has way more information. So usually when they film something, for example, they film it in they do high range imaging, HDR, high dynamic range imaging, if I got that right, and I recall correctly. So you have a lot of information from that original capture, which you can then take back to your studio or computer, whatever you want to do with it. And that's how you can do, like, if you want to do a VFX shot, that's the best way you can do it. If you want to do a really awesome image, you want to take a raw image, so you can tweak it as much as you can afterwards. If you use one of those formats that are really compressed, well, you're gonna get you're not gonna get far trying to edit that. So yeah, this is something to take into consideration. I don't think I've mentioned this on my channel before, but something to consider. So a lot of the images that you can see online and that had prizes and awards, they've been manipulated in some ways. That whole high dynamic range became a thing when we went to digital. Before that, with like film, you didn't have that because it was a completely different thing. It was like dots on a like on the film, and you could get so much information on that, and it's super rich, uh, but it's also limited in the fact that, like, if you mess up the original, well, good luck. uh, and it's something that has happened. Like, people have had to redo entire films because they lost the originals, uh, which that's why people started turning into computer, like turning the pipeline into more computer digital oriented pipelines. At least that's what I think. Like, you have way more control over what you're doing. Well, not too shabby. Not too shabby, my friends. I thought this was gonna be one of those that I don't like, but yet again, I was able to turn it around. That might be that I'm actually getting better. I do the best I can. That's what I can say. No worries. Uh, Thank you. Appreciate it. Glad you liked it. All right. It's just I'm going to do the fun part just as an extra today, I guess. Well, bow, bow, bow. It has been some time since I've done this. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Oh, let's turn this off. Sorry for that. Come on, that was weak, man. Come on. What's going on? Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, I like that sound. That's a nice sound. Cool. Have those three. Probably film the last part later. Let's see if I can. With the filters, I might be able to actually mess with this. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, saturation now. So you want that brightness. I'd say you want the saturation, but yeah, that's cool enough. I'm happy with that. I'll set it up again after. I got that song stuck in my brain. Yeah. What's the name? Let me look at the history. The Chain. The intro is really good. Really good intro. If you can't tell, I really like blues and that sort of music, rock. That's my jam. my demo reel was based on I don't remember the name of that musician, but there was a blues musician that he alleged that he did like a pact in order to get his talents at a crossroads, and that's where I base my demo reel on. Uh, when I was going to do the modeling demo reel, it was going to be around the same subject, but with a modeling twist to it. It was gonna be more realistic and focus on like the crossroads scene. That's the thing I wanted to do. I had this whole thing in mind. I used to. I really used to. It kind of lost me when they did that AI thing. They did like I think a couple videos or a few videos with AI stuff, and I was like, come on, man, you don't need that. You guys are super talented, like, and I'm not for AI. Uh, I do appreciate their work. All the best to them, but I was like, I was bummed out, basically. They did uh, a video with using AI for a bunch of stuff. Oh, yeah, I have my thoughts on that, but yeah, to each their own. They're really successful, so I appreciate what they do and what they've done in order to show behind the scenes. Yeah, exactly. And to show behind the scenes what VFX is like. So, and I've been watching them like way before I went to BFS, if I remember correctly, because I used to watch YouTube a lot. So, but that to me was like, yeah, man. I still think that they've done some really amazing stuff, and as I said, I appreciate their work, but kind of stopped watching after that. Maybe I I'm no one to judge anyone, so but just have my thought process about using AI for certain things. I used AI and I regret it. I did like a few short videos, like I was just testing out what it would pop out of the AI. But that's way before I knew all the stuff that came out about all the people that got like they use their work to train their freaking AIs, and it's not ethical, man. I don't think it's ethical to do that without compensation. There's something going on here. What? Is this dry? What is? Anyway, that's that. Is today's drawing. I'll post this finished version probably tomorrow. And if you decided to watch my stream, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And if you want to check it out, I have my deck of cards on my website. I have other stuff there like backgrounds for your phone. I have a Redbubble shop that you can check out if you want. And I try to go live Monday through Thursday now, 9:30 p.m. Argentina time. What else am I missing? Well, you can find me on Instagram, on TikTok, on Kick, on Twitch, Facebook. Usually by the same name, Segrons, in almost all my social media. And so, yeah, if you enjoyed the video, thank you. If you're watching this in the future, because I upload it to my YouTube channel. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. I'll be ending the stream soon, so thank you. Until next time. Bye.